of Sunderland, do you think that they're going to be in and around the top four from what we saw with them do yesterday and so far this season? I think they still remain the only unbeaten team in EPL.
Well, I think if they keep on with this form, they will definitely make the top four. Because the likes of them, Liverpool, they are not showing this seriousness of making the top four. And if Liverpool did not try that, definitely Sunderland will take their spot.
But
watch Friendship TV right now.
Arsenal traveled to the Stadium of Light last weekend, yesterday, and the game ended 2-2. And it was a game that anybody that had been watching EPL knew was going to be a very tricky and difficult one for Arsenal. And so did it turn out. But the game started, it was very distinct for Arsenal, lethargic. They didn't really have the intensity that they've been playing with for a while now. We know that in EPL, if you start the game with 1 foot behind, it's all going to be difficult to get back to it. And obviously, Sunderland got their goal. Arsenal failed to defend the first and second balls because Sunderland always, we know, are direct team with long throws, long balls. Arsenal should have prepared for that. It looked like they were struggling with it and they considered that goal. And end of first half, eventually Arsenal came back to the Arsenal we know, got the equalizer, went to one more ahead, it was 2-1 at some point. And one would have thought with the kind of defensive resilience Arsenal has shown this season, they were going to see that one out. But unfortunately, somehow, Sunderland got their goal and it was a 2-2 game. And so did the end. So I don't know, what was the high point of that game for you?
Has to be in the second. I think that second half when Sunderland got their second goal. I think it was Ballard. That place. I think Raya was at fault.
Mm-hmm.
At first, I was saying Raya was my man of the match before that second goal. But I think he made that mistake there. We need to talk about it because even though Gabriel Magalhaes wanted that goal to be cancelled because of long boots, but at the same time, David Raya was one of the reasons why we considered that goal.
Can you talk more about that? Well, what exactly was Raya's fault in that goal?
He came out too early, and he was looking. Maybe he was expecting the ball to come to him first. Because he can actually just, when that guy tried to do that bicycle kick, he could have just take that ball if he has to be fast. But I think he was waiting for the ball to come to him before trying to catch it.
Yeah, for me, there are Arsenal had 2 mistakes on that goal. Like, let me just talk about the one you mentioned, David Raya. I said, why didn't he stick out his hand and just, change the direction of that ball? But somehow, I don't know what he was expecting. He turned his back. I don't know what, he just was disoriented there. So yeah, I saw that. I didn't see any foul. I was going to ask you if you saw any foul. Even on the first goal, people were talking about foul as well. I didn't really see the referee. The referee was a little bit shaky, but it's not the reason why Arsenal did not win that game yesterday. But for me, before we get to Raya, I think I want to blame Declan Rice and Merino, because one of the things that we've seen about Arsenal this season is their defensive discipline. At 94th minute, you are winning 2-1. A game you came from behind. Arsenal that we know will always have that structure. We're talking about Liverpool a few minutes ago. There was a ball that broke. The Rice was trying to run at Sunderland. And he tried to put that ball one side of the Sunderland player and go to the other way. Him and Merino were running. And he lost that fast break. And once they lost that ball, Sunderland went straight to Arsenal. By this time, the Rice was out of shape. Merino was out of shape. And I think one of the Arsenal players was out of shape. So all of a sudden, when these 3 players being out of the picture, it created space for Sunderland. That's why they found it easy to put together 1 or 2 passes before that cross went into the box. Normally, before that time, there was no space for all that. And Arsenal would have defended that ball differently. So that's where the first mistake came from for me. The Garay should have known better. Just clear the ball. He had just 2 minutes to end of the game. He didn't need to start running with that ball, go and score another goal. And unfortunately, that resulted to what it resulted to. And that's EPL for you. These teams, they watch you and they watch you very well. And I don't know, what did you make about substitutions as well? I didn't feel that the substitution of Eberechi to bring in Mosquera was right, because automatically you're handing over the control of the game, position of the game to Sunderland. So I also blame Arteta on that one. I don't know what you think about that substitution.
Yeah, that one. I think that one to contributed to that equalizer, because, but I think Eze was tired. It was obvious. It was clearly obvious on his face. Maybe Arteta now tried to bring in a defender to defend the
long balls,
the long ball already. So as that, it happens. It happens. We need to get ourselves together.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's what I said too. At some point, Arsenal are going to drop points. At some point, they're going to lose. At some point, they're going to concede goals. And sometimes it's even good to let it happen. You get it out of your system and move on again. But the unfortunate thing now that Arsenal has serious games coming up after the international break. You have Chelsea, you have Bayern Munich, and you have Tottenham. These are 3 massive games in quick succession. But again, if you look back, you will say that was the setting that was set at the beginning of the season when Arsenal played Man City, played Liverpool, played Newcastle in the first 5 games of the season. So yeah, and but what you know, after that yesterday's game, what did you make of Sunderland? Do you think that they're going to be in and around the top 4 from what we saw with them do yesterday and so far this season? I think they're still remain the only unbeaten team in EPL.
Well, I think if they keep on with this form, they will definitely make the top 4. Because the likes of them, Liverpool, they are not showing this seriousness of making the top 4. And if Liverpool did not try that, definitely Sunderland will take their spots.
But what's their strength? What do you think that
I think one of their strengths is that their physicality. Mm-hmm. And I think in that game yesterday, they came prepared. Unlike Arsenal, I don't think Arsenal came prepared to that match, unlike Sunderland. So they really came prepared, and with their physicality, like that. I think that foul on Merino, nobody is actually talking about that foul. It was physicality. If maybe Merino has that same kind of physicality, maybe it can be rugged small. But that one is not there. With their physicality, they bullied a lot of our players, most especially that Mikel Merino.
Yeah, I felt that Arsenal was a little bit complacent because physically, I don't think we've had that issue in a while, especially this season. Yeah, maybe Merino is always a soft player. He thinks more than the physical side of the game. But it looked like Arsenal came into that game with some of what we have seen them with last season, where you look at them, they don't look like they are confident that this game they can win it. That's how I felt. It felt like maybe that record of 8 clean sheets, going to have a new record of 9 clean sheets was playing in their mind, and they were in between their thoughts in the beginning of that game. Because Tottenham are not more physical than Newcastle. And Arsenal dealt with them earlier in the season. So, yes, I see the physicality, but I think it was more of mental. I don't think that mentally those players were in the right frame of mind going into the game, and that's what we saw. So, don't forget to subscribe if you have not done so. If you are new here, and like and share this video as well. But most importantly, we want to know what exactly do you think was the reason why Arsenal dropped points yesterday, and do you see Sunderland being in and around the top 4 challenge this season? And what exactly have you found out is the secret of the success that Sunderland has had so far this season. And let's not forget to mention Granit Xhaka, who is the commander-in-chief of that team. He had a very good game yesterday, and obviously orchestrated things from the middle of the park for Sunderland, as he has been doing all season. Though he didn't have an exceptional game, but he had a very steady performance and a very important contribution to that result as well.